John, the Baylor men are coming off really a humbling loss at Lawrence, 83-59. Very lopsided game, and Scott Drew's team is 4-4 in its last 8 games. Obviously, they were ranked number 1 earlier in the season, but the good news is they are starting to get a little healthier again. LJ Cryer is the only guy that is questionable currently. So the question is, can the Bears get back to what they were earlier in the year when they were 15-0?
I think that's going to be really difficult because Cryer's foot is a lingering problem. He broke it in the summer. He set out 2 games in December, but they were games that they could win easily without him. Now they're playing games that they can't win easily without him. And I think you saw it against Kansas. With LJ out, Flagler wasn't shooting well in the first half. Man, they just destroyed Akinjo. Their defense, he went 0 for 11 for the game. He went scoreless. If you don't have some more outside threats out there, Akinjo's going to have a hard time getting the offense going. And I don't know if they can get back to playing that way. Maybe defensively they can, but offensively, if Cryer's not back, they're not going to score like they did. He's a great shooter. He's the best shooter, best 3-point shooter in the Big 12. It'll be very hard if LJ's foot continues being a lingering issue.
Yeah, I agree that I think their issues go beyond just the injuries that they've had. Mm-hmm. I love Kendall Brown. I think he's going to be a lottery pick. But at the same time, I feel like he has some games where he kind of fades into the background a little bit. You'd like maybe a little bit more out of him. And I've said it all season, as good as this team is, and I think they are good. Are they great? That's debatable. And I think it all boils down to, and it doesn't help that they're following a national championship team, because your brain automatically starts comparing them to the previous year. And this collection of guards is just not at that same level. You had Davion Mitchell, who was the defensive player of the year in the country. You had Jared Butler, who was just a big game player, great, player. I thought really overlooked in the draft, to me, fall into the second round. And then Maceo Teague was a veteran guy who could get buckets. So, they're just not quite at that level.
No.
When you talk about those 3 guys, I can't help but think of like my favorite trio in the history of college basketball. And this is stepping outside of my Red Raider loyalty.
Okay.
But, and this group didn't win a championship, but I always loved Todd Day, Lee Mayberry, and Oliver Miller at Arkansas. And that big 3 that they had, and I think Baylor had, I have to begrudgingly admit they had a trio that was worthy of comparison with that group.
Yeah,
probably compared really well.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah,
not
sure.
Obviously the Big O was a big guy, but
right.
What those 3 allowed guys like Flo Thamba and Matthew Meyer and those guys to do is to be more just the fill-ins,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then they had Mark Vital, who we didn't even talk about too. So yeah, that was a special team for Baylor, and this one is good, but we'll see just how good.